In today's video, we're going to be going through 10 different rappers, including Kanye West, Travis Scott, and more, and debating what is their most overrated song of all time. Let us know down in the comments what your thoughts are on our takes, and which rapper should we bring in the next time that we do this. Let's get started. We're starting off with Mr. Kanye West.
Mr. Kanye West himself, now known as Ye.
Yay.
Do you feel like it's weird, like calling him Ye in comparison to Kanye? Like, how did,
That was always a nickname. I think it's fine.
Cool. I've always
Chill.
called him Kanye though.
He's still gonna be Kanye though to everyone. I mean, as long as like the Spotify profile still stands as Kanye West,
That's
it's
it.
Kanye West to me.
Anything in consideration before you reveal your pick?
I mean, yeah, I think that like everyone loves to hype up like a lot of Kanye's biggest hits or a lot of his biggest cult fan favorites, like the Runaways, the Jesus Walks, the Devil in New Dresses, but all of those deserve the respect they get.
Yes, they do.
Even a lot of like I was saying, biggest hits like a Heartless, for example, is stronger, not overrated. Gold Digger is, but we've given that take before.
I gave that one today. I think that's his most overrated. For me.
Yeah, but there's another one that I was.
Yeah, what did you bring
in
in new for today?
Real Friends, bro, is the one that I'm gonna go with off of the life of
But
Pablo.
like, who really rates it like that?
People rate it. This is a
like,
platinum song, over 200 million streams. People, when it came out, were raving about this song, saying that like this was gonna be the perfect entrance into the album, that it was introspective, unlike they've seen in years before. And I don't think it's a bad song by any means. I just feel like it is a bit overhyped. Like, there's a lot of people that make the claim that it is one of the top tier songs off of the life of Pablo.
I think it is, actually.
I really don't think it's one of the best songs off the album. I mean, starting off with the production, the beat just feels too skeletal to me. There's a cool foundation with that keyboard loop, but it never really goes anywhere.
You don't like the Mike Dean synths on this bad boy as well? They're nice, bro. Not only
they're
that, but
so minimal. You don't even really like hear them that well,
absolutely.
bro. I
Even the
disagree.
content matter on the song itself. It's probably one of the deeper cuts off of the life of Pablo. It takes you through his trials and tribulations, relationships with his friends, all the people that have done wrong
the
by him.
songwriting's fine. I just feel like his tone stays the same for all 4 minutes. I don't like the way that Ye and Ty Dolla $ign's vocals overlap. I don't find that works on the song that well. It's just it's a good song to me. You know, like I said, songwriting wise, I appreciate it. But
what do you have on Life of Pablo that's above it? Let's do that. How about that? Let's do that.
I'll take you through it,
and I'll see if
keep in mind. There's like so many skits on this album.
The Seven Thomas and
Boy
One, the production, bro. Listen to this.
The production's very mediocre. Ultralight Beam's better. Father Stretch Man's Part 1's better. Famous is better.
Famous is debatable, but yeah, we could say that.
Waves is better to me.
I don't think Waves is better. Not on a writing standpoint.
Wolves is better.
Not on a writing standpoint.
We're not talking about. I literally complimented the writing on the song.
Yes, but
you can
that's
get over
that's
that
where
point.
the value lies within this track itself.
30 Hours is better. No More Parties in LA is better. Fade's better. St. Pablo is better. So it's bottom tier. It's like maybe like 7th worst or some shit if you're counting the skits.
But 7th
something
worst
like that.
on how many songs on this album? You got like 20 on here.
Anyways, what's your most overrated song?
I went with Gold Digger. This is a take I've given before, but I mean, this is the episode. It's the most overrated song from these rappers. And looking at the entirety of the catalog, Gold Digger for me is going to be that answer. When we said we didn't like this song, obviously I'm going to play into the community reception. People were flabbergasted. They were like, bro, like, how is this an overrated song? It's an all-time classic. You guys are just playing into the Kanye opinion that he doesn't like it, yada, yada, yada. It's not only our community that overrates it, but when I went to different publications and I went through their rankings of Kanye West's best songs, I'll bring you guys 3 different examples of publications that have included this in their all-time list. Starting off with High Snobiety, they had this at number 5, bro. Major cultural blog, number 5 in his catalog over songs like I Wonder. I'm not buying into that. Rolling Stone community polls, okay? So Rolling Stone ended up doing a complete survey from different Kanye fans. They had it at number 3, bro, all time on a list. I find that fucking crazy. Medium, another huge cultural blog, had it at number 15 in a top 50 list with songs like I Wonder and St. Pablo behind it. So not only do I think it gets overrated from our own community, I think it gets overrated from even the high blogs and the people that are making these huge cultural moments. I think, listen, the sample flip just gets annoying. I'm not a big fan of that loop. The content matter is shallow. It was meant to be this big pop attempt, and I think it's an outlier in late registration. It would rank at the bottom of that track list for me. I'm sorry.
100%.
I'm putting a Heard Him Say over it. I'm putting a Touch the Sky over it.
Easy.
I'm putting a Drive Slow over it. Like, I'm putting Addiction over it. Like, I don't even think that's a hot take to me, at least as a Kanye fan. I think that this is genuinely his most overrated song, not only from our own community, but from other communities and big cultural blogs.
Yeah, so I'm with you. I have Gold Digger also as the most overrated, but I wanted to give a bit of a newer take on something I haven't spoken about. So Real Friends would be maybe number 2 or 3 in his most overrated. But next up, Travis Scott. And listen, when it comes to Travis Scott, this man cannot pick singles to save his life. And that's often where a lot of...
single.
That's an L then. He can't pick singles to save his life when you look at songs like Franchise, when you look at the K-pops, the 4x4s, something like Watch, which would have been on the weaker side of Astroworld, even if it's a good song. So he puts out these mid singles and they somehow become uber successful, bro. That's what ends up happening.
Scott's is his most
Highest in the Room is an amazing example of something that you're looking at and you're like, this has almost 2 billion streams. Like, what are people getting out of this besides that, like, foreign galaxy that Mike Dean takes you to with the synth outro at the end? Like, that's really the one saving grace, but one of the most uneventful and low effort performances in Travis's entire career. So I would go with Highest in the Room, but there's even the Scots that I could choose, bro, for sure.
Yeah, but I don't know.
This song was getting a lot of hype
but
when it came out.
I like this song. I love the outros on both of those. Do I think that they're slightly overhyped? Yes, but when I'm looking at, let's say, all-time rankings from other content creators, or even when I was doing deep dives on Reddit just to see like what the core Travis fans were saying, none of those singles came to mention just because people don't really rate his singles like that. When people think about the best Travis Scott material, they often think about, let's say, the upper echelons of Astroworld or of Rodeo.
I disagree. I've seen a lot of people rate Highest in the Room very highly.
Research that I did for this episode, just looking through it, okay? So the reason that I didn't go with those singles is because also when we were speaking to, let's say, friends in Atlanta, they had the same opinion. No one rates his singles like that. This guy cannot choose singles for his life. He's a world builder when it comes down to his album experiences. I think a song that gets slightly overhyped, that I still think is in the upper echelon of his catalog based on where we ranked it, is low-key Sicko Mode, and I'll explain to you why. When I was doing deep dives, I'll explain to you why.
No, bad take.
Hold on a second. I'm going to go through 5 different publications and community forums that either had this in their top 5 or at their number 1 selection, and you let me know if you agree or if you think it's that high.
We had Sicko Mode in the top 15, so it's not a far cry to say,
but it's kind of,
this is a top 5 song.
But you had that same argument for the Tyler pick with New Magic Wand.
I guess. It's
the same situation, but this one is clearly overrated by the major.
I feel like it's overplayed, but to say that, like, again, in the Travis Scott community, take these publications aside, in the Travis Scott community, it's very rare. Hold on, it's very rare to hear a Travis Scott fan say that Sicko Mode is top 1, 2, or 3 in his catalog.
I have evidence of that.
You never really see that.
I have evidence of it. Okay, so the highest ranking Reddit post from the Travis Scott subreddit that I was able to find that did a top 10 ranking with hundreds of upvotes had this song at number 1 on it, and people were agreeing with it in the Travis Scott subreddit. I can't get more niche than that. Not only that, but I'm like, okay, maybe this was just a subreddit post that ended up popping off because it was controversial. When I went to their Album of the Year community ranking, they had it at number 4. So I was like, okay, those are 2 community platforms now where Travis Scott fans came in, they voted it, they had it in the top 5. I'm like, let me see what the major publications are saying. So there was 3 main ones that I really stuck to. Again, High Snobiety, major cultural blog. They're usually really good with their list.
Apparently not. It's 2 in a row where they get it wrong.
Number 2.
I don't know how good they are with their list.
Number 2. People are reading them. Top ranking on Google search. People are rating them. There was comments from Travis Scott fans. Number 2 on their ranking. Then after that, top 10 rankings. Okay, the top 10s, they do community votes like Ranker. Had it at number 5 according to community voting. Ranker upvotes had it at number 10. So what I'm saying is that I agree. I think it's a top-tier song in Travis's catalog. I would have it between the 15 to 20 range, but based on where the rest of the community, I would say, reception is, and based on how much it's gotten streamed, it's arguably the most overrated song in his catalog because people are placing it at the higher end of the catalog. It has the streams and it has the status to be able to back it up itself. It was a huge cultural moment, but I don't think it's in that top 5.
The Reddit forum is surprising just because I've never seen any Travis Scott fan give that take ever. In all these
You'd
years
be surprised,
of doing this,
man. Bro,
never seen that once.
You go to that was the first post. I'm like, okay, like, am I crazy? Because I had it at top 15. But when I saw that Reddit post, I'm like, okay, this can't be the only forum or post that says that. But when I see the ranker upvotes, when I see the top 10 list upvotes, I'm like, bro, okay, this is getting overhyped now.
I still feel like when it comes to these singles, like when you're looking at the Scots having over like close to, I think, 1 billion streams, you're like, okay, these were either botted or they're all coming from like these Fortnite addicted kids. There's no way that people are listening to this song on that scale because there's a complete dip in quality. Like it's not even in the same conversation.
Yes, but I don't think anyone's
mode.
I don't think anyone's putting that song in like a top 10 or top 20 list.
People are rating it highly though. To me, saying that a song is amazing or that like this is an enough to hype you up for a new Scott's album, there's a problem there. When you're
Yes.
looking at the quality of that track.
I know. I just wanted to come in today with some maybe like a bit more evidence on why I think these songs are getting overrated by major publications or community forums. So that's why I chose Sicko Mode. I think it's extremely overrated when it comes to those conversations. But shall we go into Eminem?
Let's talk about Eminem, and I'm going to start you off with one just to piggyback off the conversation we just had. When you look at Mockingbird, this is a song that is ranked under Ranker. I'll use the same sources. It's ranked as a top 10 greatest hip-hop song of all time. A lot of people view this as one of Eminem's strongest emotional cuts. Out of all of like the Haley tribute songs, which is kind of a category of Eminem songs within itself, a lot of people put this at number 1. It's one of his most streamed songs of all time. So I want to hear you make the argument for this not being overrated.
I love the songwriting.
Is it a top 10 Eminem song?
I think no.
So a lot of people rate it as such, bro.
I wouldn't have it in my top 10, but I think it is a top tier Eminem song considering how lengthy his discography is. I do agree with you. I don't think it's top 5, nor do I think it's a top 10 hip hop song of all time.
Yeah, I just never cared for the Hush Little Baby interpolation on the hook. Like, that was something that always threw me off. And again, if you want that type of song from Eminem, he's done it better with When I'm Gone. I've given that take before, but I think that you can go with Rap God here. You can go with Godzilla. They both, again, fall into the category of like, let me show you how fast I can rap.
It's extremely overrated, though. It's extremely overrated. I think it's a top tier song. I think it's an anthem. I think it's a cultural moment as well. But bro, the rankings that I've seen for "Lose Yourself" is fucking crazy. Bro.
Oh, stop! This is an all-time classic.
Bro, it's an all-time
Stop
classic.
it.
But okay, you listen to me, okay? Would you have it in your top 5 Eminem songs of all time?
I could see someone making the argument for sure.
Complex had it at number 1. Rolling Stone had it at number 4.
Yeah.
High Snobiety had it at number 1. The Guardian had it at number 5.
But that's
Royalty
the thing with these
Exchange had it at number
platforms.
1.
You're seeing a pattern. You saw it with Sicko Mode. They like to champion cultural defining moments. Shit that really like moves the culture. And if you want to look at it for that angle, Lose Yourself definitely
but
did
even
that,
something like that, You Discover Music, more of like a niche blog that does rank music and that's more based around discovery, had it at number 1. When I was going through Reddit forums after, I'm like, okay, is this a sentiment that the community's sharing? No one had this in their top 5, bro. When I went through that Eminem deep dive, you could say that it's one of his most iconic songs of all time. Like I could say like God's Plan is a huge iconic moment for Drake. Would you put that in your top end rankings? No, I think it's a different situation for Lose Yourself. But if I really had to do my ranking for better Eminem songs, bro, I think there's better Triumphant Stadium anthems than that, and something like Till I Collapse, for example. I'd have Stan in front of it, for example.
For sure.
I'd have something like so. For me, like I'm looking at like this is 6 different reputable music blogs that are doing massive coverage on different artists, and bro, most people are having just for Complex and just for Rolling Stone to have it in their top 5 to me is criminal.
But that's the thing though, is that like I'm not gonna look at like the opinion of 6 writers and say, okay, because of these 6 people, this song is overrated. Because
obviously not.
The general Eminem community, you won't see them put it at number 1. But even if they did put it top 5, top 10, totally understandable.
The Grammy loved it. And
we literally did a tier list and we spoke about how this is a perfect song.
I think it is, but I think that he has multiple, but there's so many more in front of it, in my opinion.
I don't think it's
Again,
that much of a reach. To call the song overrated, that's one of the greatest hip-hop songs of all time,
I think
bro.
people overrate
Rhyme scheme-wise, hook-wise, there's
wonderful
nothing
song.
to nitpick
Don't
at.
get me wrong. I don't think it's top 5 in his
That's a bad
catalog.
take.
Is it top 5 in his catalog?
No, but that's not what we're asking. We're talking about if it's overrated
saying,
or not.
though.
I don't think it's overrated.
That's what I'm saying. I think that the major blogs, for them to put it at number 1, multiple major sources to have it at number 1, especially when the Eminem community is on a different side of things, I think it's getting overrated by a population of music listeners. That's the way that I feel about it, and that's the way that I chose it. And there's pure evidence for it. There's multiple sources that have it at that placement.
I think what's wild, too, when it comes to Eminem's catalog is just when you look at, like, the pop genre and how those songs that he's made within that wheelhouse have popped off the way that they do, like The Monster, Love the Way You Lie, River with Ed Sheeran, all of these pop features, it's like Johnny Depp doing another Pirates of the Caribbean movie, bro. Like, he's just there for that Disney money. It's the same thing with Eminem and these songs, and somehow people genuinely enjoy them and listen to them. So I wanted to make a shout there. I don't think any of those songs are the most overrated. I think that belongs to Mockingbird, but it is crazy to see that he keeps making these types of records. But should we keep on going?
Yeah, we should keep on going.
Okay, Playboi Carti is next.
It has to be Stop Breathing, bro.
Not for me.
It has to be Stop Breathing. Not only because of the reception that I got from making this take, where I think it's a skip, but looking at.
You said it's the worst song. It wasn't that it was a skip. You said it was the worst song in a whole lot of red, which is a bad take.
I think it's still at the bottom tier of it.
But I don't see people putting this number 1, top 5.
Album of the Year community had number 11 as all-time song rankings based on of community votes. And then I went through the Reddit forums and I saw people put it in their top 5 lists. Album of the Year community had number 11 in front of Flatbed Freestyle, Rest in Peace, Fredo, Right Now, and Mr. Rage. In front of those songs from Playboi Carti fans that are voting on those Album of the Year rankings, I'm sorry, bro. That's overrated. Not only that, but
Mr. Rage is not even his own song. But
it's a collaboration song between both of them. He's technically not featured on the song itself. It's both of theirs, and it was released as a single. When I'm looking at Carti's catalog, I think there's much better. As far as songs that you could even turn up to or stuff that you're moshing to, I guess people disagree with me because there are viral moments of this song being played at live events and people are enjoying them. I didn't like the Carti vocals off of this record. I find them extremely annoying. I don't like how screechy his voice is. I'm not a big fan of the production as well. I know it's explosive. It's supposed to be bombastic, but just the distortion doesn't get to me. I guess I'm not in the right setting to be bumping this, but especially when I saw the Reddit reception on my take and people saying that this is top of the line on Whole Lotta Red, no way. No.
I think it is one of the better attempts of like Carti in that more like screamo style and aggressive nature. I do feel like it's one of the better attempts.
Even the repetitive hook as well. It's honestly for the
don't play that game.
Of course. What do you mean? What do you mean? Don't play that game?
Carti, bro. Every hook is gonna be repetitive.
But
as fuck,
there's certain times they work
Carti.
and there's certain times they don't. With the mash of his vocals and that distorted production and the way that he is just consistently repeating the stop breathing line, I'm cool, bro. Like I think it's overrated. I'm not putting this on. Tell me, when was the last time you played Stop Breathing on your ones?
Well, I just don't play a whole lot of Red like that. But like, it's not for me. But I could appreciate what he did with it, and I see the value in it. I don't think it's his most overrated. I have Fell in Love. This is a song off of Die Lit. This is the second most streamed song off of Die Lit.
Is it actually?
Yep, it's a fan favorite track. And when we called it mid in our tier list for Carti songs, people were having a fucking field day with it. They couldn't believe it. And when you really look at this song, it's not the worst song on the album, but there's easily 14 songs that are better.
Let's do the list,
this
actually.
song.
Let's give them the ranking. 14 songs that are better, you think?
No, easily. I mean,
yeah,
listen,
for sure. You're putting.
If you want me to waste my time with this, sure.
Just so people have context, so they could debate on like what's better and what's not off of Die Lit itself.
It's practically the whole fucking album. It's a 19-song album. Better songs, Long Time Intro, R.I.P., Lean for Real,
for sure.
Old Money, Love Hurts, Shoota, Right Now, Home KOD, Foreign, Mileage, Flatbed Freestyle, No Time with Gunna, Chopper Won't Miss, R.I.P. Fredo, Top. It's 14 songs.
Yeah, I agree with all those.
Yeah, Carti's flow in the song is extremely boring to me. He sounds sleepy on there. The hook gets stale very fast. And Bryson does his thing, but it's not enough to save the song. So that's why I have it there. And I think that you could also put in songs like On That Time, Crank, Pop Out. Those are some other overrated Carti songs, in my opinion. But let's go on to Jid.
For Jid.
And this was an interesting conversation to have just because Jid doesn't have too many overrated songs.
This was actually a challenge to choose.
It was. He has a very limited discography as it is, and this guy doesn't really fucking miss. So it wasn't easy to choose, but because he never really misses, it kind of became easier when I really looked at like, okay, this is what I have in front of me. It's got to be this.
I wasn't looking for the biggest hits necessarily, but that's where I was led to. Because you can't choose shit from Jid's like catalog, for example, like off the Zoinkies or a Working Out, for example. You can't choose a System M. You can't choose like more of those low key cuts that do have good streaming on them because not only is it deserved praise, but I don't look at those as overrated songs. Like these songs have to be rated by the masses. And when I look at songs that are that are rated by the masses, not overrated by the masses, like a lot of people are listening to these records. It came down to 3 different selections. It was
You're gonna say surround sound, which I disagree.
I think it's slightly overrated.
No,
I'll explain to you why it's slightly overrated, at least in my opinion. Do I think it's a good song? Yes. Do I think it's the song that should have carried the Forever story? In my opinion, no. I think like this was his attempt at making a hit. It was very successful.
It was successful. He got the job done.
Absolutely. I like the Aretha Franklin sample. I think it's cool, but it was just used before. It wasn't this revolutionary song. Mos Def had used it for previous records. It was sampled by a bunch of different rappers. So I think like as far as an originality attempt, no. I just
that doesn't knock
because
it to me at
I saw
all.
a reception of people saying like,
look at Get Money and how many times that sample was used and like flipped in a brilliant way. Like I don't view that as this is unoriginal now.
I saw this DJ Scheme and Crystal flip, and I'm like, you know what? I've heard this before. At least if you use the sample on a different flip, that makes more sense to me. I think it's been done before. I wasn't too impressed on that front. When you go into the verse itself,
how has it been done before? They brought the Atlanta like trap southern flavor to it. How is that style
the
of
sample
it
and the
been
flip
done
itself
before?
is the same one that Mos Def did. It's identical.
It's not identical.
It's
but-
absolutely identical. The vocal chop and the way that they chopped up that vocal is close to being identical. It has the same
not the
feeling as
same.
that Mos
but,
Def
but
record.
again, you're playing it into a totally new production. So to say that it's unoriginal,
But how
I
much?
disagree.
But how? I didn't say it was an original. I said it's extremely similar.
You said it's unoriginal.
But even when you look at the sample itself, when I play it next to the Mos Def one, what's different? The drums? Okay. The sample flip and the loop itself for the entirety of the song.
Plays into a whole new context.
Whatever. Even the Baby Tate part, I think it's a bit useless for the track itself. I think that the whole second song, the second part itself should have probably been a different interlude. I don't think it belongs in the song itself as far as the record goes. When I'm looking at the 21 Savage feature itself, yeah, it's cool, but it's a standard 21 Savage feature. And I think like rapping for rapping, when I compare the rest of the cuts off of the Forever Story, this doesn't play next to a Crack Sandwich. This doesn't play next to a System M. This doesn't play next to a Stars. I just think that if I had to do a ranking, I would place this next to the Louder Twos. And if this is the song that ended up popping off because of a TikTok trend, I think it's slightly overrated for his
It's
catalog.
not supposed to be better, as good as a Crack Sandwich or a System M and a lot of those highlights. This was supposed to be the song that brought people into the Forever Story and like got them excited about it by making a song that was gonna reach the masses, and that's what he accomplished. And to say that it's a skip or a miss, I'm not saying you said that,
even
but
even when we were speaking in Atlanta with obviously people that are close to Jid and stuff like that, like this wasn't even supposed to be a hit, low key. Like it was supposed to be marketable, but it wasn't supposed to reach the where it was supposed to go. So to say that it was a pop attempt, I don't know. It's
not
kind
that it
of
was
like
a pop attempt, but it was a way to bring people into the album, and it worked. I mean, think about how many less ears you would have listening to the Forever Story if it wasn't for surround sound.
But surround
like,
sound only popped off after the Forever Story.
It was still big beforehand, though.
It was okay. It didn't reach 700 million streams because it was released.
It was
on
still
the Forever
his
Story.
most successful single to date. Like it was a
It was the
success.
TikTok challenge that went crazy in December of 2022 that really drove the
Anyways,
success of
I
this
still
record.
don't see people rating it that highly. People fuck with the song as they should. It's a banger, but I don't really see people putting this in his top 10, top 15, or even calling it the best off of that album. But I ended up choosing another lead single from Jid. This is going to be his latest song up to date. This is Work. And
but the community reception around this has
was
been
strong.
poor.
No, it's not.
Poor.
No, it hasn't. If you go on the Reddit community and you look at like the whole like fresh new song Jid Work, there's multiple forums where people are praising the song. Even in our own community, people have been gassing this song up to be something that's astonishing. And when it comes down to me as a Jid fan, we've had conversations about this too off camera, and it's like this feels like any other Jid song. Yes, you're getting these lyrical gymnastics, which are awesome to hear, but you know that Jid could do that. And it takes more for a song to become great than just an amazing display of rapping. And you don't really get much more. You're getting a very weak chorus with the whole work, get your ass up refrain, which gets old after a few listens. The instrumental with those claps and backing vocals isn't very entertaining. I feel like you needed a better hook here. You needed a beat switch as well. And yeah, like I said, how is this supposed to be a grandiose moment for an album you've been waiting for like 3 years? It just didn't like nail the landing that I think that Jid wanted it to. And again, it's a good Jid song. It wasn't worth all the hype that came afterwards. Run-of-the-mill Jid.
I don't know. I saw a lot of Twitter people not enjoy this song. I saw major quote retweets with huge amounts of reception. People saying like they don't fuck with this.
Everyone that I saw reacting to it was gassing.
I guess it depends where you look, but at the same time, like looking at the Twitter reception, people just felt as if it was kind of underwhelming as far as a comeback single goes. And I don't even think it's streaming that well, to be honest with you. But all right, let's go into Young Thug. Crazy catalog, and it's hard to find. Actually, this was a tough one for me. I'm gonna be honest with you. I thought that there was certain ones that deserve more praise than others, but once I got to this one, I'm like, okay, I went to the most streamed for this one, and honestly, for most of my songs itself, like it has to get reception, it has to be streamed.
The London.
You think it's the London?
That's where I went.
Bad with Baby.
That's not his most streamed though.
It's up there in the upper
Okay.
echelon. It's a top 5 most streamed Young Thug song. When you look at this chorus, bro, I think it's just so weak, bro. I don't really like this chorus, bro. I'm not a big fan of Thug on this as well. Then after that, you get the second verse from Baby, which is just absolute run of the mill, paper tag peanut butter seats I'm riding. I don't know what the fuck that means, but just the way that he starts it off, and it's a song that I never gravitated towards off of So Much Fun. And I saw people like rate this. I know people in my own life that enjoy this song, that have played it in the whip. I'm not a fan of Thug on this whatsoever, and I think it's bottom of the barrel for So Much Fun.
That's fair.
I'm not a big fan.
Yeah, for me, it came down to 2 songs. There's the cult fan favorite that people are mixed on, but the people that fuck with it heavy, like you. And that's Harambe. I feel like a lot of people overrate this song. And when it comes down to it, it's for unexplainable reasons, because you have Young Thug literally making a Muppet song. Like, this is him using all of these outlandish voices, including him sounding like the Cookie Monster at times, or even sounding like if fucking Louis Armstrong made trap music. Like, that's the kind of sound that you're getting out of the vocals. And I'm just listening, and the whole time, like, I'm like, fuck, bro, he sounds so raspy on here. This doesn't sound good to the ear.
Crazy
Like, I just want to give bro a bottle of Fiji water, bro. Fucking clear the vocals a bit, bro.
No, this is
it just, to me, this always felt like meme music. Even like Thug saying like, I got the devil inside of me. Like, okay, bro. Chill.
Yeah, but you're going to
Chill,
Thug
bro.
lyrics. You're going to outlandish Young Thug.
I'm just
lyrics?
saying. Any way that I look at it, I don't enjoy the song at all. But ultimately, the absolute most overrated is the London, and this is because it is his biggest hit. This is a massive fan favorite. I've never seen really any bad reception for it, and you know what? Besides Travis Scott on this song, I don't enjoy what Thug does here. He kind of taps into like this higher pitch that is just out of his depth completely. And then with J. Cole, you're getting tons of reverb and auto-tune, and you're like, Cole doesn't need to be doing this. Cole has a great voice.
Yeah,
why
but
is he using
at the
this on his verse?
No, I get it, but I think what changed my opinion about the song is back in 2023 when we heard it at Dreamville Fest, and I'm like, yo, this song's really good live, actually.
Minus auto-tune, though.
I like it, but that's what I'm saying, though. So, yes, I think that's a good selection for like a good for an overrated Young Thug song. Do I think it's his most overrated? No. ASAP Rocky, but I'm gonna piss you off here.
You're gonna piss me off. I'm gonna piss you off too. You already know what my take is. I've given it before, but what's yours?
Okay, so I love this song. I absolutely love this song.
I know what it's gonna be, actually.
I love this song.
Finish what you're gonna say. I know what it's gonna be.
But when I was looking at the rankings and when I was looking at different publications and where they had it in comparison to where the community was at with it, I think it was getting overlooked. I think it was
Fucking
getting overrated.
problems.
No, Lord played Fat Jody too, bro.
No.
I think it's an overrated record. Bro, Complex named it as #1 best song of all time, bro.
This is one of his best songs.
Hot New Hip Hop had it top 5 in his entire catalog. Hot Augusta had a #5 in their all-time rankings.
That's cool. Number 5's cool.
#5, I'll name you 10 that are better right now. Holy Ghost is a better song. Canal Street is a better song. Peso's a better song. Purple Swag's a better song. Brand New Guy's a better song.
Debatable.
What's Up is a better song. One Train is a better song. Jukebox Joints is a better song.
Debatable.
ASAP Forever is a better song.
No.
Point being, it's not #1 and it's not top 5. There's no way.
I think you could easily make an argument for being
and
top
you know what?
5.
At least I'm not the only one that feels this way, because when it came to the ranker and to like the high ranking upvote posts on Rocky's Reddit, they agreed. No one had this in their top 10, and the ranker community didn't have it in their top 10 as well. I think it's an iconic song. I think it's a fucking slapper. Again, a lose yourself sicko mode sort of situation where I think these are all-time anthems, but top 10 in a catalog? No fucking way, bro. No way is Hot New Hip Hop and Complex putting this in their top 5 ASAP Rocky songs, let alone #1 for Complex, bro.
I
you
mean,
can't look at this song and put it #1, bro.
Listen, I'm not putting it #1. don't fucking stretch it that far. But what I will say is that when it comes down to Lord Pretty Flacco Jordy 2, this is one of his biggest sheer bangers in terms of that synth line, in terms of the energy, the pace that he's rapping at. If you want just one of the most charismatic and energy-filled performances from Rocky's entire catalog, and literally his best Aux song, in my opinion, that would be Lord Pretty Flacco Jordy 2.
Aux songs and energy and club bangers are a completely different
But
conversation when you look at the
what I'm
all-time
saying
rankings
is,
of his
no, it's
of his
not.
catalog.
That's part of it,
No,
because
I don't think so.
because Rocky strives in different areas, bro. I'm not getting the same value from a One Train that I am from Lord Pretty Flacco
Yes,
Jordy
but
2.
when you
the
compare
same
those
way
records,
that
it's
like
completely
when it looks at
different.
when it comes to a psychedelic type of Rocky song versus an all right club smash like fucking Problems. Again, I'm taking different
I even put
value from
LSD
different
in front
songs,
of it.
bro.
I'm not gonna lie to
And
you.
that's
like,
my pick for the most overrated Rocky song. By far, it's LSD.
No way, bro.
And
It's
I
one
could,
of the most interesting
I
songs in his
already,
entire
I could
catalog.
already smell the comments from here.
Yeah.
Oh, bro. I mean, to understand the song, you got to take some DMT, man. Like, I could already smell all that
I've
shit,
never
bro.
taken psychedelics and not appreciated LSD.
I can already see where it's gonna go,
beautiful, bro.
And but that's my point.
It's
Is that I
gorgeous.
don't need to be high out of my fucking mind. And you
But
know,
who says you do, though? I don't think
But
so.
I don't. And when and again, I've listened to it under the influence. I've listened to it sober as fuck, and my opinion has not changed. The instrumental only gets cool once it switches up. That's the best part of the
so
song.
Dynamic.
It's only cool once it switches up. Rocky's singing on here has always been painfully average on this song. The hook is super forgettable. I also feel like some of his delivery is awkward on the song when he says shit like, "Girl, I really fucking want LSD." Just some weird moments. Cool psychedelic Rocky song, but nowhere near the upper echelon.
So much passion in the performance.
Nowhere
bro.
near
It's
the upper
beautiful.
echelon of his catalog, like a lot of people like to say that it is. There's no way.
It feels
bro.
like you're watching a movie, even when you attach that music video to it. One of the most iconic music videos of the 2010s, bro.
Overrated.
No, it's not overrated. Absolutely no way. Listen. You could say you don't like the song, but there's reason why. There's people that fuck with this song. It's one of the most unique and original records, not only on Long Last ASAP, but within his entire fucking catalog.
He's made so many better psychedelic tracks.
No way, bro.
For
Get
sure.
the fuck out of here.
For sure.
There's not a single song in his catalog that sounds like LSD. That's what it is. But by the way, before the comments come at me, I love Lord Pretty Flacco Jody too.
That was a bad take.
think it's not a bad take considering the proof I have. I think Complex naming it now number one, it feels like they're just going to bed, bro, and they just want to put it number one.
It's all about the 6 writers that you.
But I have to.
found.
What am I gonna do, bro? Make magical comments on my head about X posts I've never seen? It has to be rated by someone.
A Reddit forum and like seeing the popularity and the
Of
upvotes
course,
is a bit of a better
but that
reach,
was my
but-
proof, though. When I went into the ranker community and the high-ranking upvote posts on Rocky's Reddit community, and no one had this in their top 10.
That's it. So
But
how is it overrated?
because-
Because 5 writers from big blogs put it as
But
a
these are
a
major
number one?
publications, bro.
All
And
right.
this is a song that gets a lot of love. And I named you 10 songs that I think are better. That's
L.
why I think it's a bit overrated. All right, let's get to going on with this. What do we have next? We have Nas.
Yeah,
I think Hate Me Now is an overrated song, bro.
it's a bad take.
I think it's an
all
overrated
places
song.
to go.
No, I think it's Hate Me Now, bro.
No, it's a bad take.
It's one of his most popular songs. Vibe magazine had it at number 4. Over If I Ruled the World, and Nas is like One Mic, etc.
Yeah, but who gives a fuck about Vibe magazine? That's what I'm trying to say.
Well, no, this is a publication that was heavily covering hip hop within that time that Nas was doing his run. Don't say who gives a fuck about Vibe magazine.
I'm just
It's one of the
saying,
most
just
iconic
because
magazines in the
Vibe
world.
magazine places it at number 4 is not enough for me to say that song is overrated, bro. It's
People rate the song. People look. You said it was a bad take because you think it's good. When you go into the writing of it, it's one of the most shallow Nas songs that you have in his entire discography. And when he spoke about the attempt of making this song, he wanted a victory. Basically, Biggie's victory with Puff was going crazy, and he wanted to replicate that same feeling. He admitted it himself. So he basically called Puffy, and he was like, bro, just do the most outlandish shit that you could do on this record. And that's the way that they recorded it. I'm not going to a Nas song to hear about how he thinks his luxuries are top tier and how, people are jealous of the amount of money he makes. I have other rappers for that. Plus, I have fucking Diddy screaming at me for like 3 minutes. No, I'm cool, bro. I'm really cool on this song, bro. I think it's always been overrated. It's a skip for me. I don't enjoy it. I don't enjoy this record. And I think that, honestly, bro,
I don't see how you could choose that when there's a song like I Can that exists and that ranks as one of Nas's most streamed songs to date. It's one of his most celebrated songs to date. And I'm not bashing the message because I do think it has a cool message.
It's a beautiful song, yeah.
It's all about like getting kids to get away from drugs and to stay on a clean path. That being said, just because you have a nice heartwarming message doesn't mean that the execution works well. And like,
do you think
again,
it's like an All My Life situation type thing?
it's even worse, bro. Obviously, you have the children's choir here, which is annoying. I know I can be what I want to be if I work hard at it. Like, I get it. It's aimed at kids. It's supposed to kind of sound like close to a
beautiful,
nursery
positive
rhyme,
message.
but it's not a good song, bro. If you go to any hardcore Nas fan, they're not listening to this shit ever. And I think that what made it even more corny to me was the fact that he used the Beethoven sample of Feu de Lys, which is kind of like been known to be a song that teachers in like elementary school use to play in the background for kids while they're like teaching
That's
a
why it has
lesson.
such a nice
It's
message,
so
isn't it?
corny to listen to. Like, I get it, bro. You're trying to be educational. Thanks. It's a cool song, but an absolute skip on God's Son. A song that, again, if you're not an 11-year-old that is listening to Nas, which I don't know if that even exists in today's day and age. I don't know what any Nas fan can really get out of
Yeah,
this.
but like I don't really see this at the top of his rankings.
Like I said, one of his most streamed songs, one of the most celebrated.
I think his most celebrated just goes in a different direction. Like I've never really heard anyone kind of praise this, to be honest
Look
with
up
you.
Nas list.
I did actually. I had to do it for my Hate Me Now take. But yeah, I don't listen, man. If you prefer if you prefer Puffy like screaming at you these random outlandish things,
I'll take Hate Me Now over I Can for sure.
I just think it's overrated. All right, Post Malone. I chose Rockstar, his most overrated song that he has in his catalog.
Really?
Yeah, I chose Rockstar. Again, a mix of like the Grammy nomination, it being his second most streamed song, sitting at 3.1 billion streams at the time of this recording. Album of the Year community rankings had a number 1. Billboard had it as a top 15 Post Malone song of all time. Seat Unique had it number 2. It's a diamond record. It's not even written by Post Malone himself. Reached number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100 chart. It got nominated for Record of the Year and Best Rap/Song Performance at the 61st Annual Grammy Awards. Like, no. It's a banger, but we're not getting Grammy acclaim. I don't think it's worthy of a diamond record. The community fucks with it. Like I like the song itself, but it's not in the top tier of his catalog.
I decided to go with a song that I just think is worse, and that's something that I kind of value too when it comes to this conversation. Is like, okay, maybe one song is getting more praise than another, but it's like how undeserving of it is of the actual praise that it's getting. And I went with Wow, which is one of his biggest songs. This is a diamond song at this point, and this is the type of song that you hear at a frat party where everyone's favorite rapper is G-Eazy, MGK, or Eminem. It's one of those types of settings that you'll find yourself listening to this song. 2-minute pop rap song from Posty where he's flexing about how your grandmama probably knows who he is and how he's always posted on the block. It's the writing is so bare
annoying.
bones.
It's an
such a
song.
dull song. The hook is simple and lazy. The production is empty. His flow on the second half is completely irritating. And bro is just saying anything he can to sound cool. Like it's one of those generic post hits that really gets on my nerves because you have to hear it on the radio when people, again, we're fans of this. Like a lot of like the diehard Post Malone fans will eat up anything that he serves, and this is one of them.
Yeah, so I think those are good selections though. You have to go for his diamond hits. Logic, last rapper for today. Honestly, bro, there's not a lot of people that like rate like Logic songs.
Yeah.
When I was going through the Reddit forums, there's always like a heavy amount of criticism and a heavy amount of praise. So therefore, it cannot be overrated. So I went for pure streams on this one, and I went for Homicide with Eminem. That's where I went.
I think there's a better place to go. I think Every Day with Marshmello is significantly worse
but people hate
as
that
a song.
Though. People like
no, but
people
how could people hate it if it has 500 million streams?
Yes, but no, that's not true because there's different ways to get to those streams, and I always kind of looked at that song with Marshmello as like Logic's fans seeing like that was the bottom of the barrel for like Logic's catalog and like where he was at artistically.
People enjoyed it though. Maybe not everyone, but people enjoyed the song, and
yeah, I get it.
I just feel like that was such a bad trend to make songs with fucking Mr. Marshmello, bro. Like the trend of rappers hopping on these poppy electronic beats was such a bad phase, and this is like one of the prime examples of it. Kind of has like a weird carnival app beat, and Logic singing about working hard, and has this whole la 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 refrain, which is beyond cheesy. It's one of those songs that it's like you're trying to give a positive message, but it sounds insincere. Like him rapping, give yourself a pat on the back.
By the way, where does this place in his
top streamed?
Yeah, top stream.
Maybe 4 or 5.
Hold on.
Also, the 1-800 song is low-key overrated too. I'm not gonna lie.
It is a nice positive message.
Again, love the message, love the impact that it had. It literally saved lives. But in terms of a song itself, no, I don't think it's a great song.
I chose Homicide, top 3 most streamed song besides the 1-800 number. The only
it's
one.
Not a bad song though.
It's just like the Logic verse is forced. It's one of those forced Logic performances where I'm just like, okay, bro. And it's like a hippity hop like rap song, you know? It's like it's more for like the NF fans and like the A$AP Rock fans. You know, I don't think this is a top tier song in his catalog, let alone deserves to be at half 500 million streams? Yeah. It's at 563 million streams and it's getting played 100,000 times a day. That's where its daily streams are at, bro. I'm serious. The only songs that are getting more streams from Logic in his own catalog at this point are
Every day is not far behind it. I'm looking at it
every
now.
day right now is sitting at 557. So yeah, they place within the same
Yeah.
thing. I just think like people look at Homicide and look at it as like a great collaboration between two,
It's not a bad collaboration though.
Oh, come on, bro. Who's throwing on Homicide?
I'm not playing it, but
who's throwing that first Logic
the
verse? where
verses
you
are
kinda-
good.
Before you, okay, the Eminem verse is solid. I really like the second Eminem verse, but to get there, you have to get through that first Logic one.
It's not that bad.
And the whole like chicka chicka chicka, like that whole like oh no.
Yeah, I'm never playing it. That's for sure.
Come on, bro. It doesn't deserve to be getting 100,000 streams a day, and every day's getting half of that at least. No one's fucking listening to every day, bro. No one's listening
Half
to
a
every
billion people did apparently.
But it was a sign of the times.
I know.
You know, and it was him just trying to make a pop record. This was supposed to feel like an all-time
But at
collaboration.
least it's a better song.
Yeah,
I'd rather listen to that than listen to fucking.
Yeah, I don't want to listen to either. I'm not
Yeah.
into it either. I think that the collaboration could have been much better, but it was just like, I don't know. It felt like a Godzilla moment, to be honest with you. It was like a forced collaboration where it's like, okay, we get it. So yeah, those are my picks.
So yeah, guys, it's gonna sum up the episode
Hot
for
takes
today.
here.
Some hot takes for sure. A lot of disagreements. Settle some of those debates for us as to what is the most overrated song from these rappers. Thank you guys as always for coming in and sticking until the end of the video, and we'll see you next time. Peace out.